All right, folks, another episode is in process of being made. This is it. We are here back with another episode of the Jake Silverman Show. That was a weird way to say that we are starting recording, but hey, we're not editing this thing, so we're just moving through. I am looking at Jack, producer Jack, in a, we got a camo hat on there. You got a camo little beanie.
Yeah. Got to keep this head warm. There's not much else to keep it warm up there.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. When did it start going for you?
Oh, with like 5 years. I mean, start like 21 maybe, but like noticeable like maybe 5 years ago.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
But you got a good face. You got like a good, like you could shave your head and be fine.
It kind of makes me look like a cop, not like a Nazi cop or something. Like it's aggressive when I go way short. Like I look very mean. So
I thought Nazi cop was kind of the vibe you were going for.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah, I thought that was like your MO. I mean, the beanie hat is aggressive in some ways too, but you're pulling it off.
Thanks.
I mean, camouflage. No, sorry, the camo is what I meant, not the hat itself,
gotcha.
but the camo. Camo is kind of aggressive. I mean, it's for like sure. When I see a guy in camo, I'm like, okay, you take note. You're like, what's up?
Yeah. It's
you just got to make sure. It is. It's like, because it's like, I just feel like a lot of them are not hunting. Some of them are. You hunt. I know you hunt. So this is like not stolen valor. But you see a lot of these guys in camo that's like, what are you hiding from? Almost. Like, what are you blending into?
It's kind of like the right-wing blue hair.
Yes, exactly. It's like...
It's just like signaling your...
Right. Like, I'm here, and I want to let everyone know Trump is my guy. Yeah.
Right.
And blue hair is... But the thing about camo is, like, no one is really... I mean, you're afraid of a blue hair person. Like, they might try to, like, film you saying a joke and cancel you, but you're afraid of, like, a camo guy because he, like, probably has a gun. So, like, you're afraid of both of them because they could both end your life in one way or another. But, they're both to be watched. They're both to be watched.
One is designed to be seen really easily, and one is designed to not be seen. So what does that say politically?
Right. But in a city, you see camo. Like, when you see a guy in camo in a city, it's not, you're like, I see you, dude. Like,
it's like an invisibility cloak.
Yeah, you're at a Subway, dog. Like, we know, like, I don't know what you're doing. That's when it's funny. It's just like, yeah, okay. That's when it feels like more like a lawn sign for their personality. It's like, I fucking wear camo. I got, I'm not fucking around.
100%.
I'm not fucking around here,
Yeah.
There's some...
But camo's also pretty big in the, like, streetwear, sort of, like, hip, urban dude wardrobes, I've noticed.
Yeah.
Like, camo's kind of cool now.
Oh, it is? Damn.
Yeah, don't you think?
I guess, yeah, like, yeah, cool kids have camo shit. I could see that. Yeah, I guess I have, like, someone gave me a free, like, beer jacket that has camo on it, and that looks kind of like streetwear-y shit.
Kind of hip.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, they're probably fucking fuming about that. The real camo, OG camo dudes are probably fucking pissed because they don't want it to be an urban lifestyle choice. They want it to represent the good old days and the country boys and fucking gutting a deer with your son and teaching him not to be gay and shit like that. Those are the things that camo's supposed to represent. It's not supposed to represent fucking like doing ecstasy at a club all night and getting pegged by your girlfriend. That's not what camo's all about. It's fucking, we've fallen, dude. The country has fallen. Even camo don't mean what it used to mean. Can you imagine that outlook on life? Just like everything that you hold dear just has not held up, and it's just gotten worse and worse for you. It's like, no wonder these guys fucking snap, dude. It's like they had a very rigid ideology, and it's every day. It's just like, okay, it's fucking, like, what? All right, fucking women do have penises. That alone, that was a hard pill for those guys to swallow. That it was just like, yeah, women got dicks now, dude. They're just like, are you fucking they just dive deeper and deeper into their fucking little internet holes, you know. It's bad out there, bro. It's bad for those guys. But then some of the shit they're right about, because like now there's just like dudes openly smoking crack in the New York subway, and I'm just like, yeah, like, okay, should go. Like, these guys aren't all wrong. This is like, there should be.
Have you seen that?
I didn't see it. I've seen some videos of it recently. I mean, every day you're just inundated with like, because like, you know, they geolocate you, so they know I'm in New York. So I just, all the news shit I get is just like, someone got pushed on the subway, someone got stabbed on the subway, someone is smoking crack on the subway, and you're just like, I saw a guy the other day who was kind of looking shifty, but he might have just been a weird guy. You know, he wasn't doing anything weird. He just kind of like was bouncing around too much for my comfort. Kept like looking at the trains, like the signs in weird ways, but like not in a lost way, just in like, what are you doing, man? Just like, just chill, like just settle down. But he didn't end up doing anything. So, but I definitely have an eye. I got an eye. I'm you know, I'm a watcher, you know. I'm watching out for fucking freaks. But
the last time I was there, I saw a guy just like take out a bag of weed and papers and roll a joint, sitting on a subway car, roll a joint, and then just put it in his mouth and light it and start smoking it in the car.
Damn. Yeah, with weed is everywhere here.
20 people. And it's just weed. I get that, but like, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, people don't give a fuck anymore, dude. People don't give a fuck. They feel the end times are near, so they're just like, yeah, fuck it. I don't care. It's all about me. There was a dude the other day on the subway that was, this guy, I walked in, this guy had last week I think we talked about the fucking speakers, people playing the speakers on the fucking trains and public spaces. This guy had like a legit like PA size speaker. It was like in a fucking gym duffel bag, you know, it was huge. And this guy, I got on and it's just blasting so loud. And this guy is rapping next to the guy in the beat. So it's like a duo. But you can't even hear what he's saying because the beat is so loud. And then the guy stops. He has a laptop playing this beat into the fucking PA, to the speaker. And then he stops it and he's like, oh, I think I should add this. And he starts adding drums. And then I'm like, oh, this dude is actually just making this beat in the train. He's like using the subway as this fucking studio. He's like adding like a drum behind it. He's like, all right, now I'm going to add this. It's like tick, 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 tick. And then the guy starts going back and rapping over it again. And then he's like just feeling himself. He's like, yeah, dude, this is the fucking shit. And yeah, so it's all out
Reggie
there.
Watts.
It's all out there. People doing whatever they want. But dude, when you're talking about fucking weed though, like, dude, I'm too old now to be around like girls who are too high. Like I went to went to this, like, it was a very fun like New York moment. Like I watched, so there's this venue near my place in Astoria called Grove 34, and like a bunch of comics live in Astoria, and Joe List lives out here, who I like a lot. And he just like, I think periodically like does like a show there. Like he'll just be like, hey, I want to like set up a show to headline, you know, so he can work on his material and stuff. So he did it and I watched it, and I opened for Joe years ago before the pandemic. And so afterwards, like, and my buddy was hosting the show at Grove 34. So I was talking to him a little bit. He's like, oh, we're all going to go to a diner just around the block if you want to come. So like we all went to a diner. It was like a bunch of comics hanging out. It was cool, you know.
Nice.
It was like Joe and his wife Sarah, who's also a comic, and the other people who opened. And then like, you know, it was like 2 tables of like, it was like 8 people or something. And one of the comics was like this like girl who I don't even think lives in New York. She was like visiting from somewhere. And she was just so high. Like, just like, you know, like that fucking like raspy voice and like annoying and like doesn't keep pace with the conversation, or like you have like,
I know it well.
Dude, I used to have more patience for this shit, but I was just like, and I'm a fucking bitter asshole. Like, I understand this. Like, I get that this is who I am, and like other people probably just ignore it. But I was just like, she was sitting right across from me, and she just like, I don't know like how to describe it, but you know these people who are like, they kind of like always insinuate that like bad shit or like weird shit is happening to them. And it's like, oh yeah, like I dated this guy for like 5 years, and like it's always like some problem in their life. But it's like it seems like they just have like shitty taste in people. But it's always like, I don't know if there's like a word for this, or like there's like an archetype almost. I've met so many of these people where like their whole motif of conversation is like you'll say something about like, oh yeah, this crazy thing happened, and then they'll bring it back to themselves, but it's always like, yeah, that's when I fucking, like, oh yeah, dude, I got fucking busted by the cops for fucking weed. It's just like it's not like some crazy story. It's just like they seem to live like a shitty kind of life, but it's not anyone's fault but their own. Like, I don't know, like, fucking really how to like nail this, because I've met these this girl was kind of like that. Like the things she would bring up, I was like, all right, so you like dated this like shitty, I don't know. And it was like maybe more because I was just like mad because she was like so high and like it wasn't timed well. And it also just seemed like, like I knew everybody else but her. And so it was like the conversation would like get going, and then she would like interject something like that wasn't that good. And then you just like, yeah, okay. You just have to like kind of reset. And too high people are just, that you should be shamed. Like you should be shamed out of being that high in front of company, like it should be like she isn't getting that. It's like, yeah, you're like fucking up the flow of this table here. Like you're like,
because if you're too drunk doing that, then that's a problem.
Right. And people would be like, yo, dude, like sober up, or like shut the fuck up here, or leave. But the high thing is like they're still with it enough that they're not like saying like, they're not trying to like make out with you or like fight you, but they're just like annoying and it's like off. But yeah, you can't really be like, hey, you're like too high to be talking right now. Like I know you don't understand this, but like you're making this vibe bad, but you're like not picking up on that somehow. But it's because you're like ripped. You're like fucking super ripped. And if you could just like either like but yeah, like what are you going to do? Disinvite somebody? Like you can't like be like, hey, like we know that it's not going to be as fun with you. So like, she's just sitting there at the table, and it's just like, I don't know. And I understand I'm a bitter asshole and I'm hard on people. And it was probably only me too. That was the only thing. It was probably only me who was like feeling it. Like where I was just like, oh, there's something sticking in my craw about this whole fucking scenario right here, dude. Where I was just like, it was just like, it would be better if you weren't here. And you never want to be that person. Like, you don't ever want to be thought of as like, yeah, the hang would be better if you weren't here right now. And it's like, when you're that fucking high, I don't know. When I got high, dude, I was so paranoid all the time. I was so worried that I was being weird. And yet these people can just be high and like not get that they are being weird or like are being kind of annoying. Like it's very strange to me because I got so hyper focused on like, I don't want to be weird. I don't want to say anything stupid. I don't want to be a bother. And these people who seem to like just, I don't know, they can live in that bubble of like, I'm high all the time. I just don't, either like that's just who their personality is and they don't get it. Like they just don't, like they've become that person. Or like, yeah, their high was radically different from my days of smoking weed when it was just like, they don't seem to care about the social graces. But again, maybe it's just me. Like maybe I'm just fucking this guy who's like picking up on the little shit and everybody else is like, I don't know what you're talking about. She was fine. Like if I asked these people, they'd probably be like, she was fine. I don't know. I'm just getting like an old man. I'm just becoming an old man, I guess.
I've definitely been that guy before too. One time we were sitting at a table and this guy starts telling a story about how he saw a guy like hitting his daughter, his young daughter.
Yeah.
Like beating up his kid.
Jesus.
And I was like listening to it, but I was also thinking about something else that was making me laugh. So I just started laughing, like hysterically laughing. And everybody looked at me like,
bro,
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
like,
it's time to go, dude.
And I was just like, okay, sorry. I just left.
But you had the decency to leave. She didn't make a big enough faux pas for us to be like, hey, that's not cool. She just was kind of like around. She was just kind of like okay, you're here.
You guys want to order like the Belgian waffles for the table? Everyone's like, no.
Yeah, it was just a lot of that. It was a lot of that type of talk and voice and like intonation and just like, I don't know, it just like gets under my skin now. Like I just don't want to be around that shit. And when you're in a close like little booth, it's like more in your face, you know. You can't like walk away. You can't just be like, all right, this like girl's annoying me. Like I'll just like move on, you know. But yeah, it was weird because it was like, this is cool. Like this is like a comic hang at a diner. This is like fun. But it was also like, you know, 2 tables and they were at their other table. And so I was with these people and, you know, but yeah, it just like, it put me face to face with like, that's why it's like hard to make friends as an adult because like you're younger, you just don't like, you just put up with more, I feel like. And now, like, as I'm older, I'm like, if you don't meet these very specific criteria, we ain't hanging. Like, I just know the type of people, you've like refined your process more and more of who you want to hang out with. And I'm like, I'm cutting off whole types of people. I'm cutting off too high girl. Like, I don't ever want to be around a girl who's too high ever again. Like, just cutting them out. And eventually, you know, that's why you end up alone, probably, is because you're just like cleaving off tons of people, or you're just like, oh yeah, I refuse to talk to almost anybody anymore, you know? So, it's hard.
Yeah, the criteria does get more and more strict as you get older, because when you're in kindergarten, it's, oh, you're in the same room as me. Let's be friends.
And you're just like friends.
Every incremental age going up, there's more and more criteria that you're holding people up against.
Yeah, and like you've had bad experiences with one type of person or like one person who reminded you of that, and you're like, I don't want to be around that dude, you know? Or just like, I don't know, you know, that's why like, you know, in your 30s people are like, you don't want to go out as much. You're just like, I just want to do my thing. I'm good. Like I'm just gonna go home and watch a movie. Like I'm gonna be with my girlfriend or my boyfriend or like my homies, and we're gonna do the thing we like to do. We're not gonna pretend that we want to fucking be out all night at this bar, like meeting fucking strange. You know, like you're just kind of done with that phase.
Dude, it's gonna be a movie tonight.
Yeah.
It's gonna be sick.
It's just you're just like, all right, we're doing our thing. This is good. So, yeah, I don't know. But I don't think I would have a single friend if it wasn't for comedy. Like, I don't know what I would even do. Would just be just some guy, I guess. I mean, the only people I meet now are through comedy in one way or another. So, but yeah.
There's so many people that are like that, though, that don't have anything that they do.
I know.
What do you like to do? Oh, watch shows. God, that's sad.
It's really sad, but it's like, I don't know if people know how to like get out, and like, it's hard because like once you like work a full day, to have another interest that devotes any energy is like effort, and it's just easier always to not put in effort, you know? I mean, some nights here I'm like, oh, it'd just be nice to like not be out all night. But then you're like, well, what am I doing here then? Like, why would it be living here if I wasn't going to do the thing I'm here to do? So you just do it, you know? But there is always the pull to like, just be like, fuck, I'm just going to watch a movie and like eat junk food, or, you know, like you always kind of want to give into that. But then if you just like, all right, no, pull your fucking pants up, go out into the world, shit happens, you know? So, but I could see, like, I also don't have a fucking day job, and I don't have a fucking kids or anything, like, you know, all that shit. But, I don't know. It's strange. It's very strange. But, dude, I fucking, I was at this open mic the other night, and I saw the most, like, open mic comedian life metaphor that I'd ever seen in person. So, I'm at this venue, actually back at that Grove 34, and the owner has like a dog there. It's like a bigger dog. And the way you walk in, there's like a little like patio before the door. So there's like a gated patio. So comics like stand out there and smoke and shit, and it's like covered. So comics are arriving to sign up for this open mic, and it's like pouring out. It's like one of the rainier nights since I've been here. It's just like on and off downpouring and like drizzling all night. And it's dark now because of daylight savings, so it gets dark at like fucking 5. So it's like dark, cold, rainy night. And I'm out there. I am talking to another guy, and the dog has been like basically barking at anybody who approaches the gate because it's a dog, and it's like, you're on the outside, whatever. But as soon as they walk in, he's like, oh, I guess you're fine. I don't know. So this comic is walking up, and he's putting his AirPods into their case, and this dog like barks at him, and he fucking does like the most cartoonish like, ah! Like he's like, oh, and he drops his AirPods into the dark, wet sidewalk, and they go in multiple directions. So it's like this guy is just trying to do his 3 minutes of comedy. He's gonna be like one of like 30. It's just like such a hard life sometimes. You just like see it on people's faces. You're like, it's a very hard life because it's so thankless, and there's not really many wins. You get very few wins. A lot of it is like small losses when you're doing these. Like, it's like just like, all right, I'm gonna do 3 minutes of comedy. I'm already like struggling in New York City. And like I had like the perfect shot at his face. Like it was just like you couldn't have drawn a more like, it looked like someone had like a haunted house cam, where they're like like he like shook his hands like near his face, and like he was just like, oh, and it was probably embarrassing for him just to get scared by the dog. And then like his fucking AirPods dropped, and they like went different directions. They're also, the AirPods that he got were black, so they're like completely blending in to the fucking sidewalk. And like I was out there and saw it happen, and so like I'm helping him look in the rain, like we're like putting our cell phone cameras down on the sidewalk, and we're not finding it, and he's just getting soaked. And and like, like whatever, like no one needs to help him, but it was just like, it's like me and this guy, and then another guy eventually joined us, but it's just like, I don't know, it was just such like an encapsulation of like, you are alone, the world is trying to harm you, you just want to live your little dream, and it's just trying to kick the shit out of you and like steal your life force and steal your, and he was like, I just bought those today, and you could just tell he was like, he was just like, dude, like, I did not need this L today. Like, I just didn't need to get scared by a dog in front of my peers and lose my headphones. And luckily, we did find them eventually. We were out there for like 25 minutes searching, and we ended up finding them. And I think they worked.
It's nice of you.
So it was at least like, okay, we got them. But, man, if I could like, I'll never forget that moment, because that to me just represents the early years of comedy, where it's just like, yeah, you want to try this thing? Well, how about we kick you in your fucking balls first? How about you already are walking into the venue with like shame and sadness literally worn on your face because you got scared by a fucking dog. And I felt so bad for the dude. I felt so bad. I was just like, dude, because it seems like every one of us is like a moment away from that guy's day. Like everyone is actually that close to just like getting scared by something and dropping all of their most valuable possessions in like an unrelenting, dark, cold, wet city. And yeah, I was like, dude, I'm so glad you found those, because like, it's like, how people say like, when you see a homeless guy and you give him $1 because you're afraid that you're going to be homeless. I was like, I was out there helping him because I was searching for my headphones someday. I was just like, I got to put some good karma in this world, because bro, like I can just feel some L's coming my way, and I got to hope that there's somebody who's going to help me, because you know, it's like you got a band together. It's like a band of brothers kind of shit. You're like, dude, like I can't. If you lose these, if you can't find these, like I will be sad. I will be like deeply sad because it was like such a. And I use this word not in a derogatory way, but in like a descriptive way. It was like a very pathetic moment. Like it was a very just like a deep, deep well of sadness rose up in me where I was just like, this is so sad and pathetic. Like just the dominoes that this happened to this guy within an instant. I was just like, dude, none of us deserve this. No one deserves. No one deserves to be.
Did you see his set?
No, I went up before him. Oh, that was the other thing is while he was searching in the dark, he was getting passed by other people, so he had to go up way later on the list too. Like he was like, like wait longer. And I was just like, I have to help this man. I just like have to help him because I saw myself in this guy. I was just like, fuck, dude. This is going to happen. I just like knew this type of shit was about to be happening to me someday. I was like, I'm about to some dude is going to jump out at me and something bad is going to happen. And you just got to hope someone will be there to be like, hey man, we got you. We'll help you out. We'll figure it out. So, bummer.
It's a jungle out there.
It is. One time I was doing a shitty show in Salem, and it's also like kind of like a cold, wet night down in Salem, Oregon. I was down there with Adam Posse and I think Thomas Lundy. We drove down to an hour, and like Posse got out of the car. Like his phone was like wrapped up in his like sweatshirt, or he like stretched, and dude, like his phone fell to the ground and did like 3 cartwheels on its side. And I like saw it, and as I saw it, I turned and a car's wheel went directly over the phone. Like it was like in a train track, bro. It was just like perfectly. Like it was so lined up perfectly that like Posse didn't even get mad. He was like, that was the craziest. Like it could have gone 6 inches either way and the car would have missed it, or 2 seconds earlier. But it just happened that it just went like ding, 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 rolled right into the path of this car. And this car just like, it looked like the car was like on purpose doing it because it was lined up so smoothly, and it just crushed his phone. And and then we just had to do this shitty show in this well-lit bar. And yeah, it reminded me of that moment. I was just like, damn, dude, sometimes just trying to follow these stupid little dreams, and it just was like, yeah, we'll be taking something from you tonight. We'll be taking this. You don't need this. You don't need this time. You don't need these headphones. You don't need this phone. You know, we'll take this from you because you went out tonight. That's the pull of why people stay in, because they're afraid that some shit like that is going to happen. They're just like, I don't want my night to get all fucked up. I'd rather just like get fat and watch Seinfeld reruns, you know? That's
You're not going to get splashed by a truck like going through a puddle if you stay home.
You're not going to have to like be next to a guy who smoked crack on the subway. Like, you know, there are benefits not having to deal with the fucking world, you know? It's safer in the apartment, you know? It's a cozy little habitat, but you know, you don't get shit out of it really. You just live in your little world. But yeah. So I also had my first job in New York. I got hired to do some man on the street videos for a fine jewelry company.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Times Square. This guy hit me up on Instagram and was like, trying to make these videos, looking for a comedian to make them funny. And man on the street shit now is like everywhere. Like if you go on Instagram or TikTok, everybody's doing it. And it's some of the worst type of videos out there now, because it's all just these like young, cool guys going to drunk bar parts of the town and be like trying to find like chicks to like kiss them. That's like a big one. It'd be like,
really?
Oh, dude. It's so sad. It's just like these guys will be like, yo, if I guess your age, let me get a kiss. or like just like pathetic ways to like hit on girls. Or then another big one is asking girls it's like horrible shit they've done like sexually, and it'll be like, oh, I like fucked my boyfriend's dad or some shit. Like it's just like drunk women. It's like kind of the new equivalent of Girls Gone Wild, except instead of showing their titties, it's just like verbal shit. It's just like, yeah, like sucked 9 dicks the same night I got engaged, or like horrible, just nasty shit. And then these guys always ask the same question. It goes, what's your body count? It's like, how many dudes have you slept with? It's like, if you just search body count on Instagram or TikTok, it'll just be a million videos of like dumb dudes being like, and then they'll say the number and they'll be like, oh shit. Like it's like the cheapest content ever. It's just a guy.
Who's what's the point?
Bro, these
is
videos
it supposed to be funny?
These
is it
videos
supposed to
have
be
millions of views.
shocking?
They have millions of views. It's like they're like these like hip kids. So I think girls do them too. Like girls will ask guys questions sometimes, but I see more of it is men, like young guys. They're like cool too. They're like ripped jeans and like, you know, the cool undercut haircut. And they're like, yeah, like what's your body
Let me
count?
holler at you for a second.
What's your body count? They're like, yeah, what's the most wild shit you've ever done? And there's just a million of them. There's just a million dudes doing this. And it's like, it's just a guy filming him with his iPhone or a camera, and then sometimes they don't even have a microphone. They'll just use the audio. They'll just do like their phone recording. They'll just pass their phone back and forth. It's like the cheapest way to make like go viral, I guess. But that has because like obviously Man on the Street is like pretty old. Like, you know, they were doing that like comedy shows in the 70s and stuff. And it's been done a million times, and like, you know, it gets revised, whatever. But like
talking to kids,
or like political shit, or like, you know, and there's some guys who are doing it really well, and like they do cool stuff with it, and it's like actually interesting. It's not just that. But this is like the lowest common denominator. It's like extremely easy to make. Every town has a Friday, Saturday night area where people get drunk, and especially in like college towns. So you just go up to like hot college chicks and ask them sexual questions. And then, yeah, sometimes they'll like, I don't know. I guess they like try to get fucked by this, or I don't know what it is, or they just like make these dumb videos. But that being said, I see Man on the Street is like everywhere now. Like it's just a genre of video that people make. It's not really like that special anymore. At least the way that these guys are doing it. And so I think companies are like catching on to this, because this guy who runs this jewelry company wants to do these Man on the Street videos with me. Like and I've done it before. I got hired by a fucking bidet company, fucking ass wash thing. And I worked for this bidet company, and me and Jesse made a bunch of videos in Portland asking people about like bidets and making bidets funny. But bidets can be funny because it's like, at least it's like talking about like shit and assholes, and like it's like at least there's some dirty comedy you can make.
It's right there.
It's right there. It's like very easy and obvious, but it's like at least right there. But making jewelry funny, not so much. Like you can't apply this to everything and expect that because these people see these videos with millions of views, and they just think, oh, all you need is a guy with a camera and a microphone, and some crazy viral moment will happen. But it will also conveniently be based around the thing that my company sells, which is jewelry, right? So it's like, when he pitched this to me, I was just like, I mean, I'll do it because I need the money. But I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, where is the humor going to come from? Like, where do you really think that this shit is about to like pop off into some viral moment?
Yeah.
Like, we went to Times Square.
Unless you're making fun of people who buy jewelry, which is not really what you want to do, to sell jewelry.
No. Or you go that route of like, okay, we're going to go to like a rap concert. We're going to go to like a rap show and like talk to fucking dudes about their bling, you know, where it's like over the top. But this guy sells like fine jewelry. He sells like It's not like it's not fucking bling. It's fucking like necklaces and earrings and rings. Like it's dude. The Instagram page he showed me, it was like so crazy. I'm like so your brain, like he has a very like models with his jewelry on, and then it's like, and then you're just gonna cut to me, my dumbass face on the streets of New York asking people, like it's like it has like the brand does makes no sense to have this here. But I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. Like like I said, I need the money. Like this is a job. So we went out for like an hour in Times Square a couple days ago, and like we're just like asking all these people about like their jewelry, and like it's just like not funny. Like there's just nothing funny about this. And he keeps giving me like suggestions about like, oh, like maybe do this, and I'm just in my head, I'm like, dude, I've done this shit before, man. Like I know what this is. Like I've done this with like real stakes, so to speak. Like I've done this in like much tenser situations than fucking this. And this is like not it. Like this is not going to give you what you want. You think if I just put a microphone in someone's face, they are going to say some crazy, wild shit in under a minute that nicely sums up jewelry sales or something? Like it's like, where do you? I'm just like, where do you think this is going to go?
And that's going to appeal to the 70 whatever year old woman who's going to buy a necklace.
Also, it's like, the chain, like the ladder, that the steps that you have to walk down. Like, okay, so you make a video. If it goes viral, which is a big if, let's say it does. Let's say you get 1 million views on it. Out of those 1 million, what percentage of people would even click on the profile to be like, oh, I wonder what this is? 5%, maybe. Maybe 10%, maybe 1 out of 10 people who watch a video might be like, oh, I'll see if they have another video like this, maybe, right? And then they click on it and they find out, oh, it's a jewelry company. 99% of the people right there will be like, oh, this is just like a commercial, basically. So, no, I'm not going to like investigate any further. Of the 1% that continue investigating, they're like, oh, I like funny videos about jewelry and I'm in the mood to buy jewelry. Like the idea that you're going to get like, oh, now I've made a sale like of a diamond necklace. Like I'm just like, where I don't really understand the process of this. Like you're going to go and like, who's buying this shit? Like who's going to see a fucking weird video, a man on the street video again with me, just some psycho looking dude. Like, I'm not even wearing any of the jewelry. Like, it's like, I don't even know, like, what, like, I don't know. I was just very confused and, like, why. I wasn't confused because I know, like, small business guys think this way. They're like, we got to get on what's hot, Like, that's how they think. Like, oh, man on the street videos on Instagram and TikTok are hot. So why can't we make one for my business? And the bidet one, again, made more sense because it was, like, he had more of a vision of, like, well, people are uncomfortable talking about bathroom stuff, bidet stuff. People are unsure what a bidet is. Like this, it could be funny, but it also like just bring awareness about it. I'm like, all right, that makes sense. I get why you could make videos that might be successful and even sell bidets because people are like, yeah, I've never thought about it, but look at these people talking about. But jewelry, I'm just like, I don't get that. To me is a much more very murky pathway to be like, this will get us more sales is some random dude. And, like, the only fucking ones that we got were, like, crazy people. It was just, like, a couple people were kind of out of their minds and be like, I don't know anything about jewelry. And it was like, oh, okay. So the funniest thing we got was a guy who's out of his fucking mind. And that's somehow going to relate to, like, the nice, pretty women who you want buying your shit. They're not going to be into this.
Yeah, I mean, even with some sort of premise, like... You're standing there and you're like, try to steal this necklace off me, or like answer these questions right and you win that. There's some sort of thing that's going to get attention.
Yeah. But this is literally like me going up to strangers and being like, tell us about your jewelry. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. Comedy is so big everywhere. Like every commercial you see for the most part uses comedy. Like stand-up comedy is booming. Internet comedy is booming. Like comedy is on an all-time high of like popularity. It's just like it is the zeitgeist. Like people look for comedy in all this shit. And I think these people just think they can just like shoehorn in like, oh, comedy will sell jewelry, comedy will sell this. And it's like, dude, like yes, comedy is everywhere, but it can't just be, it's almost like, and the way he was just talking to me, like he was just like, well, you're funny, you're a comedian, so you can make this work. I'm like, it doesn't work like that, man. Like you're putting me in such a small box of like having to discuss like diamonds and jewelry in like a like in this isn't like, I don't even have free reign here to like have a conversation and maybe lead it to. It's like we're trying to get all this shit about jewelry because it doesn't make sense to have me talking about like the election on your channel, right? So it's like we have to talk about this very specific, relatively unfunny topic, and we're just gonna make like he was like, you'll just like you'll make this work, and I'm like, dude, it's not really how it works, dude. Also, like the amount of shit that you leave when you make one of these videos on the cutting room floor is like most of it gets cut. Like you have to talk to 100 people to get like 10 good interactions, and maybe that goes up when like I was making those videos at like the Trump rally or the fucking Proud Boy shit, but that was like a specific, like they were all there for one reason, and it was like there was already built-in tension to the video because it was just like, oh, they're at this kind of tense place. Being in Times Square asking women about their jewelry, there's no tension. Like comedy needs some type of tension. There needs to be something playing off of it. If it's just like an environment where it's like, what do you tell me about your diamonds? It's like, well, what's the tension? Like, where is that built in? And you try to get them to talk about like, it's like all these questions. I was like, where do you think this is going to be fucking funny, dude? Like, where do you ever think this is going to be fucking funny? It was just such a weird thing of like, oh yeah, I guess this is just like how people view it. Like they just think like if you add a comedian to any situation, they'll get this crazy viral moment that they've seen on like these types of videos, And I was just kind of like,
yeah.
Immediately I was just like, ugh, God, I don't want to be doing this. I don't care about this at all. But I was like, a couple $100 could do me good right now. So, you just do it. But
because he could have asked you, write a funny Instagram commercial, write a funny 30-second commercial for jewelry, and that maybe you could have done something with that. But like the man on the street, it's not giving you anything to work with other than making fun of jewelry and people who have jewelry, which is not what you want to do.
No, I couldn't be like, damn, you paid too much for that. Like you don't want to make people feel bad.
Exactly.
So it's like, what are you doing then? I don't know. It's so strange. I don't like, honestly, like I'm kind of hoping he doesn't ask me to do it again because I don't really want to, but I will do it because it's like money in my pocket. Like it's like a very business transaction to me. Like I will feel dumb and stupid and shameful for walking around for an hour or two to make a few $100 because I need a few $100. Like it was a very just like, I'm here, dude. I'm going to do my best. But like, I just, from the very beginning, I was like, this is not going to work the way he thinks this is going to work. And I could tell he was kind of like, this isn't really working the way I want to work, but he didn't really want to admit it. But I don't know. I wish people would just be like, oh yeah, this isn't the thing that you think it's going to be. I don't know. It's just,
weird.
It's strange. It's strange how outsiders see this shit as just like, ooh, this is like a thing that like can make my product better. It's like comedy will make my product more appealing to, I don't even know who, like Gen Z not gonna buy your shit. No one has any money for this shit anyways,
are people who can afford a diamond necklace wasting their time scrolling through Instagram?
If they are, like, this would have to like bullseye them, it would have to find them in some way. Like I don't know, man. I'm also not a small business owner. These guys are like, they do have hope. I'll tell you that. All the guys I've worked with like this, they all have that like fucking like tenacity. They're just like, that's their whole mantra. It's like, I'm going to make my business work, like they're growing. That's like the bidet guy was like that. They're always on their phones. They're always texting somebody. They're always taking a call. Like, it's like a movie character. It's like, oh, I guess there are really guys like this, like they're just like always like hustling to like get that extra sale. And like, that's admirable in a way. Like, I could probably take a page out of their book by like hustling more on the business side of like comedy, but it's just like, it's like a personality type. It's just like the dude, when I was meeting with him about these videos, like he like took like 3 calls. He's like, oh, I got to take this. And I'm just like, we're meeting for 10 minutes. You can't just wait. Like, it's like, but there's always like checking their phone or checking their fucking Apple Watch, you know? And like, when we were done with the videos, he was gone, bro. He was like, all right, well, he like got me my money. He was like, all right, cool. And he just like disappeared into Times Square because he was like on to the next thing. Like, that's how they are. They're not like, he's not gonna like bullshit. It's just like, all right, I gotta go. And he just like melted into the crowd onto his next whatever, you know?
He's like Adam Sandler in that Gem movie.
Yeah. Just
like a New York City jewelry guy.
Hustle, 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 dude. Yeah. Yeah, it was a strange experience. One that I hope I don't ever have to do again. 'Cause yeah, it just felt like, it just feels like a show that's impossible to win over a crowd almost. You're like, this is not, I feel bad almost taking the money because this is not going to go well. I've done some shows where people book bad shows and I could have told them from the beginning, this is not going to work out the way you think it is. Like, it's like, all right, we're going to have comedy after this band, but before the, you know, like they jumble this whole weird show together and it's in a bad venue and they didn't like market it. And I'm like, but they're paying me like decent money. So I'm like, I'm not going to tell them no, but I also could have told them from the jump, this will not work the way you think it is. Like the way they're describing it and shit. I'm like, this is not going to be a good show. You don't know how to run a good show. These ideas are bad. These ideas don't make any sense to like in any way. But you're like, fuck, I'll take the money. Sure, I need the money. So I just will like either bomb for a little bit or like you'll cancel the show and still pay me or like, you know, whatever. But it's just like they bite off this thing like, oh, it's going to be this way. And I'm like, it won't be that way. Any comic will tell you it won't be that way. But you don't want to listen because you have your ideas and whatever. Okay, that's fine, you know?
Yeah.
It's a weird vibe, man. It's a weird fucking vibe.
And you don't want to seem difficult to work with.
No.
Because that could be construed that way. Like, oh, he thinks he knows my business, my venue, blah, blah, blah. But you're just trying to help.
Yeah. I'm just like, you like, it's weird. Like they hire you to do this thing. Like, all right, you're going to be funny. But I could, hire me to tell you this won't be funny. Because I know it won't be funny. Just pay me to be like, don't even waste your time, man. It's not going to work this way. Do something else. Figure out another way to do this, but this is not going to be the vibe. Like I knew it from the meeting. I was like, this is not going to work the way this guy thinks it is. Cause I was like, I've done a bunch of these videos, bro. I've made a bunch of these man on the street videos. I've done them for this company. I've done them for my own shit. Like I know how these work. You know, I have a pretty good line on what makes a good one. And this will not. But hey, you know, more pizza in my pocket, baby. Okay.
Couple hundred slices.
Yeah, dude. I mean, come on. So yeah, it's weird. And who knows? Like I said, I'll do him again if he calls because I need money. So I don't care. If you want to keep investing in these being bad, sure. I'm fine. There's been more unethical ways to make money than not telling a guy that these aren't good. Like crypto, like that FTX thing. I really do think we've hit a point where the future that we're trying to sell us is like not real. And I think that like all these things that were like, this is the next wave have basically all fallen apart or have shown to be not what they said they were. Okay. Like, crypto, everybody thought crypto was like the next thing. Clearly, it ain't going to happen for a while if it ever does. I mean, and also, just a side note, the Jewish people did not need a guy named Sam Blankenstein or whatever his fucking name is to literally steal $16 billion.
Bankman.
Is his name Bankman? Bro, we did not need that type of media this week. I mean, that motherfucker should be excommunicado from the Jewish people because they were literally blaming us for running the banks. And then this motherfucker like literally made off with like $16 billion of customer money and think his like parents are like professors or some shit. Like it's just not a good look. It is not a good look. Yeah. Is his name like Bankman-Fried or blank? Yeah.
Sam Bankman-Fried.
I mean,
he's only 30.
Yeah, I mean, you can be a criminal at any age. So that was not good press for us. Like, we really needed to kind of get together and be like, all right, be on the up and up, you know? It's like in The Sopranos when they're like, all right, we're not doing drops this week. We're like, they're on our tails. Like, we're going to take a few weeks off. We're going to cool the trail. And a guy named Sam Bankman-Fried needed to not be stealing fucking cryptocurrency from people while the Jews were under this much fire, okay? We're under a lot of heat, and this is not a good fucking look for us, all right? So fuck that guy infinitely for being a fucking piece of shit. And, you know, whatever the fuck is going to happen to him, probably nothing because it never does to anybody, but, you know, except all these, like, small-time people lost their money. While he can, like, fuck his like butt ugly girlfriend. Did you see his girl, dude? He was like doing this to like get his like ugly ass Harry Potter girlfriend a job or some shit.
Who, Sam Bankman-Fried?
Yeah, dude. It was like he was like, I don't know, there's some like love interest in this, and if I had $1 billion, I would have gone up a couple pegs. But that's just me body shaming or look shaming or whatever. It was some like love. They all like lived in a group house or some shit. It was like a group of like 10 people, and it was, I don't know, you know, just some dumb bullshit. But yeah, dude, like all these companies that are were supposed to bring us the future are like frauds. Like Tesla seems like they're a total fraud. Like these cars aren't really ever good. Like they're not going to be like the global warming savior thing that they were promised. They don't work all the time. They fucking lock you in and light you on fire, and you're just like, you can't sue them because, you know, you can't even open the door without like a keypad kind of thing. Fucking TikTok is just like basically FBI's like, you should just delete the app because it's just a Chinese spying on you. Like we don't know how else to tell you. This is just a clear spy program to make Americans like hate everyone and be addicted at the same time. Fucking Facebook, they're going under. Amazon's laying off a bunch of people. Like all this, it's just like this whole philosophy. And you know, Uber, all these companies, they don't have to make money. They don't have to fucking do really anything. Like they just be like, we just get money from rich people and then we launder it to ourselves, and then eventually we reveal that the company can't work the way we said it was working. So go fuck yourself if you invested in us. Like the company's going belly up, or like we're going to restructure it. It's just like this whole philosophy of these types of people. And I think we were all kind of on this ride of like, damn, this is going to be crazy. Like we're going to be in this fucking, you know, this new world where like we have electric cars, and like all this social media is instant access, and like crypto is a thing. And now it's just like, maybe there just is a limit. Like maybe it's like, yeah, we have money. That was a good invention. We have money. We have dollar bills. Do we need to make internet money? Do we need to make an app that delivers twerking 24/7? Like maybe there maybe these like boomers had a point where it was just like, yeah, like you can't just keep growing. Like at some point it's just like, this is what life is. It's like, and it's okay to be that way. It doesn't need to always be moving in this like dumb new direction that always now seems to end up with a guy like this guy who's like, yeah, this is the new world. This is the new world. Sam Bankman-Fried's new world where, you know, everybody can be a millionaire off crypto. And it's like, nope, it can't. You were lying. It's a false flag. It's all bullshit. It's a facade. It's not real. It's just you stealing from people like it always is. And it just seems like, I don't know, we're going to have to learn our lesson at some point. Like, no one did, and I'm included. I lost a bunch of money in crypto. I mean, I assume I will lose it all eventually. Like, I'm just watching it. Like, I'm like, eventually this will be worth nothing. But you just like don't sell because you're like, I don't know, I guess I should just keep it. Like, but I just have basically burned those thousands of dollars that I invested because it's like, okay, I just got duped. Like, we all got fucking duped. I guess I was a fucking sucker, you know? But it's just like, I don't know, man. It just gives me a bad fucking taste in my mouth, you know? It's just like all these types, we're always supposed to believe them. Like, oh, they know what they're doing. They're the future builders. They're the ones that really know what they're doing. And then it's just like, you do a little investigation eventually, and it's like, yeah, actually, they were totally full of shit. I don't know why we told you guys that they weren't, you know? And the media always fucking does this afterwards. They never like looking into these companies before. It's just like, yeah, it's great, man. Crypto, it's the new thing. You just get in. Fucking Tesla, it's great. Fucking TikTok, it's the new thing. People are becoming stars every day. And then it's just like, oh, the cracks start to show. And then it's just all bullshit. It's all bullshit, baby. And it's
never going to be good enough.
It's just a class of people, that fucking type of suit wearing futurists who are just like, we're gonna have all the answers for you guys, and if you just trust us with your money, we're you guys the future that you want. It's all easy street, but just give us the shit. And it's like, we got to just be better about being like, nah, dude, it ain't that easy just to reinvent the fucking wheel. It's not that easy to just build the fucking utopia you're talking about. So what the fuck are we even doing here anymore? This is not, I don't know. It just seems like there's this huge wave of like hot air. And it's just like, that's basically what makes people fucking successful. It's just like, got to get that press, got to get that heat. We got to write all these great articles about this fucking 24-year-old who's a crypto billionaire. And then it's like, oh, no, he was just dating some ugly chick and stealing money because he was way in over his head. Like, that's this guy's story. It's like, this guy got way over his head, and he didn't even have a bad bitch riding next to him. All right, that was his story. It's just sad, dude. It's fucking just like, it makes me so bummed about the fucking like, oh yeah, this all fucking sucks, doesn't it? This is all the hazy mist of the fucking pretend future that we were promised.
I think it's also too late for there to be any sort of major rejection of it or pushback to it, because there's always been sort of the like back to the land people and the people that are sort of, you know, I don't want to be involved in this new stuff. I want to have it be simpler. But now it's just you can't function. You can't.
No, it's a web. Yeah, I mean, it's like if you have some thing that you want to do, if you are not bought into that thing, like you could do it, but the amount of opportunities you would lose just by like, if you were like, you know what, man, I just want to edit videos. It's like, but I'll never like advertise myself. You would just be like, well, some other guy will do that job and you'll never get that work. So you have to like buy in, and then I mean, it's like, I read that shit about TikTok. You see shit about TikTok every day. It's like, it's bad, it's addictive, it's fucking spyware. And it's just like, well, I have to upload a clip on it because I need to get shows, you know? So you just are like, you're just swallowing these pills of like, I know it's bad for me. I get it. I understand. I'm not stupid. Everybody probably has a somewhat general understanding of like, yeah, this isn't good. This is not good. People are still commenting on that homeless video. They're still yelling about that. We talked about that video 2 weeks ago. I still get updates every day about people screaming at each other on that video. That's not good, but it's just like, well, can't delete it. It's my best performing video, and I need these followers so I can get these fucking, you know, it's just like, you want this like pure little dream of like, I just want to be a stand-up comedian, and then the shit you have to involve yourself in is like, I guess I'm also part of like a fucking spyware program, you know? I guess I'm part of the fucking fracturing of America because my little dumb joke is getting people mad. Like, it's just, it just sucks, dude. It fucking blows. I don't know. Should put me in a bad mood, dude. Put me in a bad...
Everything is designed to hijack our natural instincts in the worst way possible.
Yes.
Hoarding stuff, hoarding attention, the promise of the next big thing, the promise of more, and it just... all it ever leads to is just wanting more.
Yeah, just wanting to be... But then it's like, as soon as you get real benefits of it, like if all of a sudden I like blew up on one of these platforms, I would be like, damn, it did great. It did work for me, you know, and it did wonders for me, you know. And like, you see these people, it's like, well, they're a star. They're making millions of dollars because they did this. But it's like, there's always that fucking person that rises up, and then it's, just everybody else is below, But I don't know, man. It doesn't look good. I don't think this looks good. I need to move out there with you, man. Just put my fucking little camo beanie on and fucking sit in a tree for a while and hunt meat and have a wife, have some kids. Just fall back into the ether, being an unknown entity. Just be a complete mystery to the world. That might be the move. Maybe I'll just be like one of those like folk musicians who just all word of mouth. It's like you either catch him or you don't, man. That guy's kind of like a ghost. He was in town, you missed him. He doesn't post on anything. He doesn't make any schlocky little videos. He just does his work and then moves on. That would be the way. Like a Johnny Appleseed of comedy would be the dream. Just show up, your name precedes you. Like, I think he's going to be in town in a few days. Be there, But instead, it's just this fucking like little techno prison of whatever, of all your time. Anyways, folks, I hope that hopeful message left you with a sweet, sweet taste in your mouth for your upcoming weekend. This is coming out Friday, which means we will not talk to these people until after Thanksgiving, correct? Thanksgiving is a week from today. Yeah,
that's right.
So have a happy Thanksgiving. What are you doing for Thanksgiving? You and your lady just making some food?
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. How about you?
I'm not leaving. Yeah, I'll probably just glom on to some comics, doing like an orphan Thanksgiving. Or honestly, dude, I'll just like buy a frozen pizza and watch movies, like, because there won't be really any comedy going on. So like, yeah, I'll just fucking hang.
Yeah,
let's hang out. I rejoined my gym, so I lifted weights today. So maybe they're gonna be open till 1. Maybe I'll get like a good workout in and then just be lazy all day. Be thankful for these gains, dude. Thankful for these fucking gains, dude. Anyways, folks, that is the podcast. I do have one show to promote. On December 9th, I will be doing a spot in New York with Derek Brown and Dave Ross. Derek is a poet, and Dave Ross is a comedian, but Derek Brown like goes on tour and like puts these fun shows together. So it's like part poetry, part comedy. That is on December 9th. I'm trying to find the thing for it, but just look that up. I'll put it on my website, and it'll be on Instagram at some point. But yeah, do that. And let's see, where is this? At Easy Lover, Friday, December 9th, 7 to 9 p.m. Comedy and poetry, and then I think there's a musician as well. So come out to that, hang. Dave Ross is very funny. And then, yeah, look for me on the road at some point. I'll try to be doing Boston or Philly or Baltimore or DC. I'm trying to get on these East Coast dates. So look for the website. I'll be updating the social media. All the shit I just complained about, I will be adding to. I'll be adding content and information to the things I just complained about. So c'est la vie, right? Anyways, be well. We'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.